Listen, when we chose our best watches of 2025, the team was fully aware that our picks were on the more aspirational side. We have no illusions that most people don't have the budget or access to pieces from watchmakers like Roger Smith. That being said, the game wasn't the best watches we could actually afford. It was a no DQ, no rules, out of everything, what we thought the best releases of the year were. That being said, of course, there were some excellent watches in 2025 that command much more affordable price tags. Now, affordable is subjective, but I personally work off the assumption that entry luxury starts at 3,000 US dollars. So for this roundup, with my own personal selections of some of the best, more affordable watches of 2025, I've selected 6 watches under 3,000 US dollars. Let's get started. The Baltic Hermétique Summer Collection is an expansion of the range that, as its name suggests, brought a summery pop of color with new pink, turquoise, orange, and yellow dials. As we've seen previously, the center medallion of the dial is where you will find the vibrant color, and it's framed by a black ring that hosts the railroad-style outer minutes track. To be clear, if you prefer less boldly hued dials, the general range offers tamer, more standard, blue, green, and beige dials as well. Though a pop of color certainly attracts the eye, it's really just the icing on the cake. At the end of the day, this is a watch that has been designed to be a proper field watch. The lume on the dial is ample, enhancing legibility as a field watch requires, even going so far as to have 3-dimensional luminous numeral blocks that also add visual depth. It boasts a robust depth rating of 100 meters, housed within a wrist-democratic 37mm stainless steel case, 10.8mm thick, including its double dome sapphire crystal, and just 46mm lug-to-lug across the wrist, giving it that vintage meets modern wrist presence any wrist can really enjoy. And rounding out the offering is a 42-hour automatic Miyota movement. All things considered, at just under 650 US dollars, this is an excellent avenue to explore should you wish to bring a field watch with bolder color into your watch collection. Naturally, a Seiko has to find itself on this list, and not just because I'm known for being a bit of a Seiko-path, but more so because you guys really show a lot of love and engagement when we post Seiko watches on the channel. And this Prospex Speedtimer Mechanical SPB 513 is a great example. Coming in at just under 1,000 US dollars, the SPB 513 carries common characteristics of the Prospex line that exemplify why the collection is a go-to destination for lower-priced yet high-performing watches. It clocks in at a great size, measuring 39.5mm in diameter, 12mm thick, and 44.5mm lug-to-lug. In terms of robustness, you have a case that is not only 200 meters water-resistant, but also treated with a super hard coating to improve its scratch resistance. Lastly, its 3-day in-house automatic movement certainly gives it further street cred. But perhaps what stuck out the most to watch fans about the SPB 513 is its attractive color scheme, a silver-white dial with black and orange accents, and the quirk of this speed timer having a rotatable inner countdown bezel. Whether you would actually use it on a racetrack as it's intended for, or to track how much longer you should be boiling your pasta, only you can answer that once it's on your wrist. But what I do know is that this is a great watch to consider if you're looking for a new watch under 1,000 US dollars or less. It's funny because this arguably recurring visual theme was not intentional. While the Baltic and Seiko have slight tuxedo dial vibes in a way, this Serica 6190 that debuted this year is an irrefutable tuxedo dial. Thus the configuration name of TXD, and a beautiful dial at that with 2 tones of enamel. Yep, enamel. The 6190 at its core has always been a distinct take on the field watch, packaged in a handsomely finished 37.7mm case that is just 10.4mm thick, glass included, and 46.5mm lug-to-lug. Yet again, I will refer to a watch as wrist democratic. It's well sized in that a wide spectrum of wrists can undoubtedly enjoy it. But furthering this element of wrist democracy are 2 key elements. The first is the fact that Serica allows you to select which side of the case the crown is on. So righties can keep the crown at the conventional 3 o'clock position, and lefties are finally included with the option of having the crown at 9 o'clock. I think more brands should explore offering this as an option. Do you agree? Let me know in the comments. But the second factor is its bond clip bracelet, a flexible, lightweight, and breathable bracelet style that allows you to clip it at any point between the compact links. So it's both visually distinct and highly sizable. All right, to recap, gorgeous 2-tone enamel dial, a wrist democratic case and bracelet, and great field watch details like a grippable large crown and a COSC certified 42-hour automatic Swiss movement. And this all at 1,419 US dollars. I think it's a very attractive option. And to take things to the next level, it has a perfect strap monster approved 20 millimeter lug width. So if you pick up a black leather strap, you can dress the watch up and be like a, I don't know, a 00 agent playing high stakes poker at the Casino Royale. All right, moving away from watch designs that are primarily sporty, for a smart casual take on a dress watch, the Furlan Marri Corne de Vache Blue Sector, in my opinion, is just unimpeachable. As the brand has grown, the near infinite testimonies of the high quality for the dollar might leave those yet to experience one in the metal skeptical, but in my experience, the watches really do live up to the hype. Furlan Marri's cleverly constructed Corne de Vache case is very, very well finished. Just look closer at the cow horn lugs and tell me I'm wrong. I don't think you can. The steel case is well proportioned, 37.5 millimeters in diameter, 10.5 millimeters thick, and 46 millimeters lug to lug. Though I have no illusions anyone would really swim with this watch, its 50-meter depth rating is certainly a bit more reassuring for a casual daily. I can't see anyone complaining about a grained and circular brushed blue sector dial, a textured take on a fan favorite color only further elevated with collector appeal due to its applied Breguet style hour numerals. And exhibited inside is a 68-hour Le Joux Perret automatic movement that ups the game further than your standard mass-produced calibers. For just over 1,500 US dollars, I think you're getting a very strong, smart, casual, daily dressy watch here. Okay, of the 6 watches, I will say out of the gate, this is the watch of the 6 I would personally be most likely to buy. When the first Rivanera came out, it pretty much had the whole Time+Tide team swooning. I love the aesthetic of the first Rivanera and its modernized take on classic rectangular watches, done with taste and bringing enough newness in its sum of design elements to be firmly in the fresh category rather than the derivative category. It just had instant appeal. Then Eco Neutra introduced a sequel this year, the Rivanera Piccolo, that retained the visual twist of a modern structural sandblasted titanium case with a hint of classic elegance through a chamfered edge running down the flanks of the case, lug to lug. It's just chef's kiss. But the Rivanera Piccolo, measuring at 26 millimeters in width and 33 millimeters in length, takes a design that you could argue first had a parallel to a, I don't know, vintage Tank American, a bit more elongated, to a more compact shape evocative of a Tank Normal. It's basically 3 millimeters longer and wider than the original Tank from 1917. So you have sizing that takes you back over a century paired with its modern look of today. I just love the juxtaposition of it. It's 7 millimeters shorter in length compared to the first Rivanera, but the trade-off is that it's just a millimeter thicker. And to be clear, that only amounts to a thickness of 6.9 millimeters. So very slender profile still. From the front, you have a clean two-handed dial with a date window, and I personally love the MB configuration with a black dial that absorbs 99.4% of the light. It's just such a deep black. And the price comes in at just under 2,000 US dollars. Keep in mind that the watch comes with both a rubber and leather strap, and even a strap tool to use when you're ready to swap between the pair. Last and certainly not least, Christopher Ward has consistently shaken up the watch collecting world, continually debuting novelties that leave many of us wondering how they can produce the watches it does in their extensive detailing and complication for the price. So there are a ton of attractive Christopher Ward launches this year, but my favorite of its many heaters this year that comes in under 3,000 US dollars is the 12660 in full black. Though I typically prefer my steel bracelet watches to have a 100-meter depth rating, this 30-meter water-resistant watch had the objective of being as thin as possible. This results in a 30-millimeter watch compact across the wrist at 43.3 millimeters lug to lug that is just 6.6 millimeters thick. For context, that is only around a fifth of a millimeter more than the Octo Finissimo in steel. And that's thinner than the Rivanera Piccolo. This slenderness is in part a result of its utilization of a 45-hour manually wound movement that is a highly customized and decorated Sellita SW210. I mean, it's like unrecognizable in the state. It looks really good. The standard steel models and their dials look great, don't get me wrong, but the full black speaks to me the most because it feels the most fashionable and aligned with what I typically wear. I mean, you can see I like black. The quite unfair asterisk of hesitation for me, a lack of a 50-meter depth rating or a 100-meter depth rating, looms over a little bit for me with the sort of standard steel models. But for whatever reason, the full black DLC, and I guess just like how it feels more stealth and chic than full on sporty, that like water resistance thought dissipates for me in the context of this full black. So look, at 2,050 US dollars in the full black configuration, I think you would be very hard pressed to find a more value driven, slender meets sporty meets dressy watch. And yeah, that's why it's my final pick of this group. So those are my personal selections. Which would be your personal pick out of my curation? Or what is a watch you think I missed and should have included? Let me know your answers or shame me in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the Time+Tide channel for all the latest watch news, reviews, and content. And as always, see you on the next one.